How Larry Ellison built the Rockefeller of Databases and turned Oracle into the king of business data. Part 1. The early computer world, messy data, weak tools. Imagine it's the 1970s. Big companies in America are just starting to use computers, but their data world is a complete mess. Customer records, orders, and payments are scattered across different files, on various machines, and in many formats. For example, a bank might have one system for checking accounts, another for loans, and a third for credit cards. None of these systems could easily talk to each other. If a manager asked, "Hey, how many customers in California have more than 3 accounts?" That seemingly simple question could take a small team of programmers several days, or even weeks, to answer. There was no standard, powerful database system yet. No single place existed to store huge amounts of data and query it flexibly and reliably. This meant companies couldn't fully trust their own data. Decisions were slow, and they often missed chances to understand customers, manage inventory, or catch fraud. Computers were still new in business. Most ran on giant mainframes, and early systems relied on custom files and custom code, not general databases. By the 1990s, almost every big company would be using some kind of database management system. But in the 70s, that world simply didn't exist yet. This was the problem space Larry Ellison was about to enter. Part 2. Who is Larry Ellison, and what was his big idea? So who is this guy? Larry Ellison, born in 1944, grew up in Chicago and later moved to California. He dropped out of college not once, but several times. He worked as a programmer at various tech jobs. He was competitive, loved risk, and wanted to build something significant. In 1977, he and 2 partners started a small company. They first called it Software Development Laboratories. Later, they renamed it Oracle. Here's the key moment. Ellison read a research paper from IBM, the huge computer company. This paper described something called a relational database. You can think of it as data stored in tables that you can search easily and combine in flexible ways, using a new language called SQL, or SQL. IBM had the theory, but they were moving slowly. They weren't rushing to sell this technology as a big commercial product. Ellison thought, wait a second, if we build this before IBM does, we can sell it to governments and big corporations, beating them to their own idea. That was a bold move. Why was this so huge? Because he wasn't just building an application or a small tool. He was going for the very foundation, the database layer that everything else in a business would sit on. If Oracle became the standard database, it would effectively become the Rockefeller of data, controlling the pipelines of business information, much like Rockefeller's oil pipelines fueled the industrial world. IBM's research was public. Companies were struggling with slow, custom, hard-to-change systems. There was a clear opportunity for a new player to move fast, take risks, and focus solely on databases. Oracle's early moves secured contracts with U.S. government agencies, even the CIA in its early days, and with large corporations desperately needing better data systems. The company grew quickly. Ellison's marketing was loud. He loved to say, "We're better than IBM." He pushed engineers to build cutting-edge features, and sometimes he promised big things to customers before the product was completely ready. That ambition would be both Oracle's superpower and its biggest danger. Part 3. The Database Wars, Oracle versus IBM and everyone else. As the idea of relational databases spread, other companies also saw the opportunity. IBM jumped in with its own products. Microsoft joined with its databases. Sybase and others wanted a piece of the pie. Oracle now faced a problem. These competitors had more money, bigger sales teams, and existing relationships with corporate IT departments. If Oracle didn't stay aggressive, it could easily be pushed into a tiny corner or simply crushed. Why did winning here matter so much? Because the database is the heart of modern business IT. If your database runs a bank's accounts, an airline's reservations, a phone company's billing, or government records, then almost every important transaction flows through your product. That means enormous power. By the 1990s and 2000s, Oracle, IBM's DB2, and Microsoft's SQL Server would be the big 3 in the database world. Oracle often emerged as the leader in mission-critical, high-end systems, such as those used by global banks and large telecom companies. To achieve this, Oracle did a few key things. First, it built on cutting-edge research, specifically relational databases and SQL, before most others. Second, it focused on big, demanding customers, not just small shops, but governments, large banks, and big enterprises that needed serious power. Third, it made Oracle run on many platforms, not just one kind of hardware. This included mainframes, Unix servers, and later Linux and Windows servers. Fourth, it constantly added features, including performance improvements, backup and recovery tools, security upgrades, and clustering, where multiple servers work together. Finally, it marketed aggressively. Oracle positioned itself as the high-end, mission-critical choice, selling long-term licenses and support contracts. For customers, this meant more options, but also very high switching costs. Once your entire bank runs on one database, changing it is painful, risky, and expensive. You tend to stay with the same vendor for years. Part 4. The bold, risky side, overpromising and crashes. Now, the story wasn't just clean success. In the late 1980s, Oracle almost blew itself up. Inside the company, growth was wild. There was a culture of ship it now, fix it later. Sales teams closed deals with big promises, and products rolled out before they were fully stable. That led to bugs, missed features, and angry customers. Revenue slowed down. The stock price collapsed. At one point, Oracle was close to falling apart. This is important because it shows a thin line between being bold and visionary and overhyping so much that reality can't catch up. The causes were clear: rapid growth without strong internal controls, weak systems for accounting and forecasting, and a culture focused more on selling than on checking quality. The effects were financial losses, layoffs, a damaged reputation, and a serious need to change how things were run. Larry Ellison later admitted they had made big mistakes. He brought in experienced managers for finance and operations. He shifted Oracle from anything goes to more disciplined processes. The signs of trouble were obvious in hindsight: frequent crashes and bugs, features delayed or missing, customers threatening legal action, and investors panicking. How did Oracle recover? Step 1. They faced a problem. They stopped pretending everything was fine. Step 2. They strengthened leadership, bringing in people who understood large-scale management. Step 3. They focused on product quality, making stability and reliability top priorities. Step 4. They improved sales practices, training teams to sell what they could actually deliver. Step 5. They rebuilt trust by supporting customers better and delivering on promised roadmaps. It took time, but that course correction helped Oracle survive and later expand even more. Part 5. Buying an empire, acquisitions, and total control. As we move into the 2000s, the software world was changing again. Companies didn't just need databases. They also needed business applications like ERP, or enterprise resource planning, and CRM, or customer relationship management, along with middleware to connect different systems, and tools for supply chains, human resources, and more. If Oracle only controlled the database, it might lose influence to competitors offering complete stacks of products, from the database all the way up to the business application. So, Oracle changed its strategy. It decided, we won't just be the database company, we'll be a major power in business software overall. That meant going up against SAP, IBM, Microsoft, Salesforce, and many smaller specialist companies. How did Oracle move fast into all these new spaces? It started buying companies, a lot of them, for tens of billions of dollars. It acquired PeopleSoft, Siebel, BAE Systems, Sun Microsystems, and many more. The idea was simple. Step 1. Find software categories its customers already needed, like human resources, finance, or customer relations. Step 2. Buy leading or strong companies in those categories. Step 3. Integrate their products with Oracle's database and tools. Step 4. Sell the integrated stack, telling customers, use Oracle for everything: database, applications, middleware, even hardware. Step 5. Sign long-term contracts and support deals that made it hard for customers to leave. The positive side: customers could get many tools from one vendor. Products could be tuned to work well together. Oracle grew beyond just databases. The negative side: critics said Oracle killed competition by buying rivals. Customers could feel locked into the ecosystem. Oracle was seen as a tough, sometimes aggressive, vendor on pricing and contracts. You would see news headlines like, "Oracle acquires blank for billions," and you would notice fewer mid-sized independent business software companies around. That was not an accident. It was part of the plan. Part 6. What Larry Ellison and Oracle teach about strategy and power. Let's step back for a second. What does this whole story really show? First, early tech markets often don't have clear rules or standards. That allows aggressive players to move fast, take big risks, and grab huge chunks of power. Second, companies like Oracle can absolutely solve real problems, such as cleaning up messy, hard-to-use data systems. At the same time, they can create new problems, like vendor lock-in, less choice, and heavy dependency on one supplier. As a 10th grader in the US, you might think databases and enterprise software sound boring, but they quietly run banks, airlines, hospitals, schools, online stores, and government systems. Oracle is part of the hidden infrastructure behind modern life. Why don't more people talk about this? Because the media likes shiny things: smartphones, social media, and games. Storage engines, query optimizers, and SQL don't make exciting YouTube thumbnails. But controlling the boring layer can make a company incredibly powerful and incredibly rich. We often think tech success is about flashy gadgets and viral apps. Oracle reminds us that deep infrastructure, the stuff other people rely on, can be even more important. Today, when major services crash, like airline systems or big websites, very often, somewhere in the chain, there's a database issue. Understanding this helps you think more clearly about tech giants. Ask yourself, what layer do they control? Is it the consumer app, the infrastructure, or the data platform? What problem did they solve so well that others depend on them? What power did they give them? Where is the balance between how useful they are and how much control they have? You can apply those questions to Oracle, but also to Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Meta, Apple, and future companies you haven't heard of yet. Part 7. Final lessons from the Rockefeller of Databases. Let's wrap this up with a few simple lessons. Lesson 1. Ideas plus timing can beat giants. IBM's researchers invented the relational database concept. Larry Ellison read their work, moved faster, and built a commercial product first. He showed that being early, prepared, and bold can matter more than starting out big. Lesson 2. Core infrastructure is powerful. Oracle didn't win by making fancy consumer applications. It won by owning the core of business data. Sometimes the most powerful opportunities are not flashy at all. They are in building the systems everybody else has to use. Lesson 3. Aggression has two sides. Ellison and Oracle took crazy risks and pushed very hard. That drove rapid growth. It also almost destroyed the company in the late 1980s. Boldness is good. Ignoring reality and quality for too long is not. Lesson 4. Systems need balance. As Oracle bought competitors and expanded, customers got integrated solutions, but also less choice. That's why we need strong rules, healthy competition, and people paying attention, so no single company can completely trap its users. Lesson 5. Boring skills can quietly change the world. Databases, SQL, business systems, they don't sound exciting, but they handle trillions of dollars, organize global supply chains, and support critical services. Don't underestimate fields that don't look glamorous. That's often where the biggest opportunities hide. Lesson 6. Learn to see the invisible. Most people see phone apps and web pages. They don't see the data centers, the databases, or the business logic underneath. If you can understand those deeper layers, you can get better jobs, build smarter companies, and make stronger decisions about technology and policy. Lesson 7. Ask better questions about data power. Whenever you think about Oracle or any big tech company, ask, what data do they control? Who depends on them? How hard would it be to leave their platform? What happens if they fail? Or if they misuse their power? What rules or alternatives help keep things fair? How Larry Ellison built the Rockefeller of Databases isn't just a story about one billionaire and one company. It's a story about spotting a deep problem, messy, hard-to-use data, using research and timing to build a key technology, growing from a scrappy startup into a powerful empire, and living with the risks and responsibilities of controlling a core part of modern life. If you can see those patterns in tech, in business, in history, you'll be better prepared to understand the world you're walking into. And maybe one day, you'll use that understanding to build something big of your own, without repeating the same mistakes.